Hi, my name's Dr. Kat Gardner and I'm a clinical psychologist working in Brighton for Green Shoot Psychology. And I've entitled this video, When Our Choices Seem to be Frozen, How to Do the Next Right Thing. So at the moment, it can feel like a lot of the choices we would like to have been making have been taken away from us. And we can't do the activities that we used to that mattered to us, like seeing friends and family or volunteering, or activities that were good for our physical well-being, being able to go to the gym, being able to run without having to dive out the way of other runners, or activities that helped our emotional well-being. We might not be able to do the job that gave us a reliable source of income, as well as was a big part of our identity, or it might have just got a whole lot more stressful. As well as the millions of little and big things we used to do day by day, week by week, that on a basic level helped us feel like us. Now this is going to give us an experience of feeling stuck, that our choices have been cut off, and that will be combining with just this very big sense of uncertainty of the future that is around at the moment. Now this combination got me thinking about one of the standout songs from Frozen 2. Now if you're not a Disney fan, please don't switch off now, as the song really does contain some excellent advice and it is in line with good psychological thinking and studies that have shown that this is something that can be helpful for us at times of stress and difficulty. So, at the end of last year, I saw Frozen 2 with my 4.5-year-old son, and I'm not sure who was more excited. And one of the standout songs is called The Next Right Thing. Just in case you haven't seen it, or you're not a Frozen fan, I'll just explain the context of the song. So, Anna is the one who sings it. She's the brunette one who can't make things out of ice and snow. She's alone in a cave. Her sister, Elsa, blonde one, who sang Don't Let It Go, not Don't Let It Go, Let It Go from the song before, from Frozen 1. She's far away where she cannot follow her. So Anna can't get to her sister. She's separated from her boyfriend and she's just witnessed the death or disappearance of someone very dear to her. And so Anna is singing of the pain she's experiencing. And the lyrics are, I've seen dark before, but not like this. This is cold, this is empty, this is numb. The life I knew is over, the lights are out. Hello darkness, I'm ready to succumb. So she's in a pretty dark place, both figuratively and literally. A feeling I think many of us can identify with. I've certainly had my dark moments over the last few weeks. And like Anna, because of how our minds work, when we feel we cannot make choices, our thinking tends to go into more negative directions and become more global or absolute. Have you found yourself thinking recently, this situation is out of control? Or I feel so powerless? Or there's nothing I can do? It's easy to start to feel helpless or hopeless. Or like Anna says, we almost feel that we're ready to succumb. We're not even sure how we're going to keep on going. Our thoughts are so powerful, aren't they? They impact our feelings, what we notice in our body, and how motivated we are to try and do pretty much anything. So when I was reading those words about how out of control this is, how powerless we feel, what was your reaction? Did your heart sink a bit? Did your chest feel a bit tense? Or did you just kind of sigh and nod and think, yep? So these thoughts and these ways of thinking, it impacts how we are in our body. And they can also negatively impact our motivation. How likely are we to respond positively if we're feeling and thinking that way and someone suggests, hey, do you want to meet up and do a pub quiz on Zoom? Or our child asks us to come and play in the garden with them again. Or we're feeling hungry, and because we're feeling rubbish and we want to feel better, instead of grabbing something that might sustain us for longer, before we even know it, our head's in the cupboard, we're grabbing the last of the biscuits and the chocolate stash. There's nothing wrong with eating biscuits, there's nothing wrong with the chocolate stash, but sometimes it's the quality of the choice that we've made that might not actually be the best for us at that time. Or we might grab our phone and we might scroll as a way of numbing or distancing ourselves from how we feel. Now these are all choices of a type, but they're often reactions that we're making to our feelings and our thoughts at that time. And they're not actively or even consciously chosen sometimes by us, They're not always in line with our values or how we would like to be. So what if we tried to turn that around? What if instead of saying, there's nothing I can do, and we focused on that, we connected with what we could do in that moment? So going back to Anna, the lyrics of the song move on and she sings, "But a tiny voice whispers in my mind, just do the next right thing." I have missed some lines, so those who know the song very well, don't shout at me. So what might the next right thing look like for you? It might be really helpful to say, right doesn't mean perfect. It doesn't mean there's only one right thing to do or only one good option. It means getting in touch with what is right or helpful for you at this time. How do you do that? A helpful way might be to think about what do you need and then turn that into a statement of intention or action. Some of you might be familiar with Maslow's hierarchy of needs. It's a pyramid with like our basic needs at the bottom and higher order stuff at the top. And that basic needs at the bottom is really where a lot of us are operating at the moment. The basic needs for food, for rest, for shelter, for being able to take a drink. And that's the stuff that often, if we're feeling really bad, that's where we need to start, at that bottom. Not with lots of creativity and I should really do that learning how to play the guitar thing I've been meaning to do. So back to needs. Checking in with yourself. Your need might be, I need 5 minutes peace to myself. And so the intended action becomes, right, I'm going to put the TV on for the kids. Doesn't matter it's been on a bit today or a lot today. I'm going to close the door. I'm going to make myself a cup of tea. And I'm going to sit down and I'm going to hold that cup. I'm going to feel the warmth. I'm going to drink it. And I'm not going to pick up my phone. I need to reconnect. I need to be with someone who gets me, who makes me laugh. So I'm going to call that friend who always somehow makes me smile. And I actually might not want it to be yet another video call, or I might. So I'm going to pick what works for me. And maybe I'm actually going to even pick up the phone right now because it might not be the best time. They might say, hey, let's reschedule and let's speak later. But I'm not going to put it off because I need to reach out and speak to someone now, even if we then have a proper chat later on. I need to get out of the house by myself. And this might be more complicated, I fully appreciate, for single parents or families with big caring responsibilities. You're all absolute heroes. But it might also be possible if you think sort of laterally, or there might be someone in your household who is able to take care of any more younger or vulnerable people for a while. Or you might be in a position where you're very busy, but yes, you could go out. You could go out first thing in the morning or last thing at night, especially if you wanted to be when there were less people around. So the intention might be, right, I need to sit down, I need to work out, get support from people who can help me to enable me to go out for a walk by myself and just have some time and some space. Maybe you're feeling really stuck and constrained and you just need to move. So maybe the action is, right, I'm going to put this music up, I'm going to play it loud, and I'm going to dance around my living room. My partner, my kids if I have them, my neighbours might think I'm going crazy, but I'm going to have a great time because I need to move my body. And we know that actually in doing that, we'll kickstart some endorphins, we might smile, we're going to actually feel better physically and emotionally for having done it. Maybe the need is, I need rest. Maybe the answer to that is, right, I'm going to take it easy this afternoon. I'm not going to keep up with that version of lockdown I think I should be doing. I'm going to grab a book. I'm going to do something to relax, not just something to photograph and put on social media afterwards to show how well I'm doing. And I'm going to get an early night. And as I said, these needs might be going back to the basics. Food, some deep breaths, a drink, a rest. It's okay to not feel that you are doing this lockdown in an amazing way. I don't think any of us really are. We're all just muddling through the best we can. So what does the next right thing look like for you? More wisdom from Frozen. Anna sings, take a step, step again. And so that's it. When you do the next right thing, once you've done it, what's the next right thing? Is it getting the dinner on? Is it jotting down a to-do list so it's out of your head, but then stopping working? So do that. Take the next step, give yourself a pat on the back, and remind yourself you made that choice, you've put it into action, and then ask yourself, what do I need to do now? And when the answer is I need to stop or rest, try and find a way to stop and rest, even if it is lying down playing sleeping lions in amongst the chaos and half-done tasks in your house. Now, our minds love to jump ahead, to start to think and plan and worry about the future, but as much as we can, it can be much more helpful to try and focus on what we are doing right now. And that's where mindfulness practice can be really useful, so that might be something you want to check out elsewhere in this group. And Anna knows that too. So she sings, I won't look too far ahead, it's too much for me to take. Now, we don't know what is going to happen. And the problem is that sometimes as a way of trying to find the answers that we're desperately seeking for, we get sucked into a spiral of news articles, opinion pieces, and experiences from other countries across the globe of lockdown and people trying to get out of it. It's too much for us to take. And to an extent actually not helpful, because if no one knows the answers, then thinking over all of the different possibilities and really obsessing over them, not just reading them once, but going and looking, all these decisions are going to be taken so much higher up the chain than us, and just obsessing over them can really feed our sense of powerlessness. So sometimes it's wisdom in knowing when to put down the news articles or turn off the TV. So Anna sings, break it down to this next breath, this next step, this next choice is one that I can make. So if we break it down to the next breath we take, which we've talked about elsewhere on the group, that actually breathing is a weapon that we all have to reset our brains. We can rebalance ourselves on a psychological level by taking a deep breath, when we get the part of our nervous system that actually helps to calm and to soothe to kick in. So we can take the next breath, and then we decide our next step. We're actually also taking the power back. We're recognising that we can make a choice that is in line with our values, with what matters to us, and with what we need. And when we've done that, we can also realise that we have positively impacted our present reality. Now I'm going to end by referencing another source of wisdom, a little different source from Anna from Frozen. This is a quote from Viktor Frankl, who survived Auschwitz, and it was a neurologist and a psychiatrist. He said, everything can be taken from a man but one thing, the last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way. Now I ask you to hear that quote with compassion for yourself. You may feel that you stood no chance earlier this week at choosing your own attitude, that you got totally swept by the circumstances, conversations that maybe didn't go so well with your partner, if you have one, your children, if you have one, your family, colleagues, friends, or just your own feelings about what's going on at this current time. But we can still, on days when we're feeling slightly better, and we can check in and go, hang on a minute, am I getting swept away? What can I do? What choices am I able to make today? Right here, right now. So, what choices will you make today? What does the next right thing look like for you? Stay safe, stay connected with those, and try and give yourself a break. Focus on that next breath, that next choice, and I'll see you soon. Bye.
Thanks for watching our video. We hope it's given you another tool for your emotional health toolkit to help you cope with these challenging times. Please subscribe to our channel, check out our other videos, and you're welcome to join our free Facebook group. Together, we'll make it through this.